ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Okay. So we are doing the 10th chapter, right?
Yes, sir. Verse 33 we finished, 34 we have to start.
Which verse?
34 we finished. 34th we have to start.
34. Okay. The fourth. Okay. Yeah. So I hope all of you had done your Navratri worship and done your Vidyarambam and everything, Ayudha Puja. Okay. So with that, the next day after Dasara, let's start again. I don't think there will be any questions on this because pretty simple verses, straightforward description. Yeah. मृत्युः सर्वाहारश्च चाहम् उद्भवश्च भविष्यतां कीर्ति श्रीवाक्च नारीणां स्मृतिर्मेधा धृति क्षमः. धृति क्षमा. ओके. मृत्युः सर्व आहारश्चास्मि. I am not only everything bright and beautiful, I am also death. That takes away everything. Okay. Why? It is death that gives meaning to life. Really. It is death that gives meaning. Because you know there is a one finito, one finish line. It's like supposing you had some work to do, given to you by someone, and you ask them, when do you want it by? Oh, whenever. What will happen whenever?
फोन से ट्राई करो मुझे.
It will never be done.
लैपटॉप में तुम्हारे ऐसी अगली बार से याद दिलाना, मैं लेके आऊंगी तुम्हें.
It will never be done. If the thing is to
खोल के रखो. हाँ, खोल के रखो.
do it whenever, the work will never get done. Because that is the nature of it. I know, like Meera is serializing my article, my blog in the Bharati Vidya Bhavan magazine. So she'll send it to me. And she'll say, Swamiji, whenever you get the time. Now, generally, I am prompt. But because whenever I have the time, then I'll get a second mail. Swamiji, by the end of this week, I have to send it. I'll say, okay. And that day itself, I will check it out and do it. Why? Because there is a deadline. You need to do it now. Okay. Sometimes it happens immediate because I put that deadline in my mind. No, let me finish this before everything else. Similarly, if life is going to spread endlessly in front of us, it's got no meaning. It's got no meaning. Yeah. So that end, okay, you have this much of time, whatever you want to do it within this time. Finito. Gives meaning. Gives a sense of purpose. Yeah. And long life, okay, is a blessing only if there is good health. Even if there is good health, is not necessarily a blessing. I learned this as a kid. I must have been 10-year-old. And holidays were spent in Kerala. In Kerala village, we would roam all over. And the river used to always attract me. Though we are cautioned about the river. But the cautioning is only makes it more attractive to go there. And I remember I saw this old man. He seemed ancient, In fact, later on, when I remember reading the rhyme of the ancient mariner, Coleridge, this was the image that kept coming into my mind, this man. Why? He seemed ancient. For a 10-year-old, anyone over 60 seems ancient, okay? But whatever. He was ancient because he looked sad. So when I sat next to him, the feet dangling over the river, we sat. And I asked him, Mama, you look sad, what happened? Maybe as a kid also there was some empathy in me, And you know what he said? Everyone whom I know has died. God has given me a long life, but all my friends have died. My wife has died. Some of my children also have died. I am as good as all these young fishermen that are there. But they are all new. I don't have any friend. I said, oh well, long life is not a blessing. Long life is not a blessing. Yeah. Unless you have moksha, etc., then whether it's long or short, it doesn't matter. Long or short, it doesn't matter, okay? Once you know the truth, it doesn't matter either way. But the purpose of death is important. Therefore, I am death, he says. Purpose, that gives purpose. And even in life, I notice one thing. Those who have confronted death in life, either face to face, which is ideal, or through some visualization, etc., which we will come to in the 13th chapter, I find they live more purposeful lives, more meaningful lives. Yeah. Now, when you have heard these stories of people who had near-death experiences, etc., how their whole experience transformed their life, etc., which is true. If you confront death, you will live a more purposeful life. Therefore, death is important. Therefore, I am death, he says. Invoke me as death. Those who have the courage to do so, okay? Everyone doesn't have the courage. Okay. Udbhavascha bhavishyatam. Okay. Udbhavascha. I am that potential into the field of the future. So you can invoke me as the state of pure potentiality. Because the whole future, I am the potential. Because the future is a potential condition right now. No? Therefore, invoke me as that. Then Narinam. Among the feminine. Narinam is not among the woman. The feminine qualities. Okay. What am I? Kirtihi, fame. You can invoke me as fame. Kirtihi. Shrihi, prosperity. Vak, speech. Speech is definitely feminine, okay? A man uses about 1,000 words in his vocabulary. A woman uses 4,000 on an average, okay? So definitely it is feminine. Okay. Sri, Vak, invoke me as Vak, Vak Devi. We have that, no? Saraswati, Vak Devi, etc. Smriti, memory. Every man who has had a fight with his wife knows how good her memory is. Smriti. Okay. But today I am a little bit supporting the men folk, okay? Smriti. Yeah. Medha, intelligence. Intelligence, of course, definitely feminine. Yeah. There's always wisdom in the words of a forthright woman. Men should learn to listen to that. Okay. Therefore, Medha. Dhritihi, fortitude. The ability to hold on and do what has to be done. Dhritihi. Kshama, acceptance, forgiveness, equanimity, you can translate as any of these. Therefore, you can invoke the Lord in all these qualities also. In all these qualities, you can invoke the Lord. Okay, yeah. Brihatsama tata samnam Gayatri chandasamaham Masanam margasirshoham Ruturam kusumakaraha. Brihatsama tata samnam. Those who are the samnas, the singers of the Samaveda, the experts of the Samaveda, invoke me as Brihatsaman, the chief among them. Gayatri chandasamaham. This guy is a poet, for him meters matter. Invoke me as a Gayatri. Why? The sacred Brahma Gayatri is there in the Gayatri meter. Therefore, invoke me as Gayatri. Okay. There is no Gayatri Devi as such, okay? Gayatri is a meter in which the Brahma Gayatri is written. There are a lot of Gayatris written. About every deity there is a Gayatri available. Okay? Yeah. Masanam Margasirshoham. Among the months, I am Margasirshaha. South Indians may know when does Margasirsha starts. Around 15th of December. Do you all remember it? Roughly that time. That month where the South Indians are all busy. Especially Tambrams are all busy with all the rituals and the early morning getting up and going to a temple.
15.
Margasirsha.
I was born in that month.
Oh, great. Your book for moksha then. Okay. Then, Rutunam, among the seasons, Kusumakaraha, the flower maker, meaning spring. Okay. Spring, summer, when the flowers are in a riot, etc. Kusumakaraha. Okay. Kusumakaraha. Dyutam chalayatam asmi Tejasam tejasinamaham Jayosmi vyavasayosmi Sattvam sattvatamaham. Chalayatam. Okay. Dyutam chalayatam asmi. I am that cunningness in the players of the dice. You know, the gamblers. And the ability to gamble among those who gamble. Now, why is this quality put as an important one? It's very, very important. Very important. Why? Because what is gambling really? Taking a risk. Your success in life comes only when you can take a risk. If you play it safe, you are not going to be successful. If you play it safe, you are not going to be successful. You have to have the ability to take risks. Risk-taking ability is very important in life. Most of us are averse to risks. We don't take that. That's why we don't become successful. Now, tomorrow don't go and take a wild risk and say, Swamiji, you told me to take risk and I took that risk and I flopped. Yeah. Then you should be able to handle that failure, prasada buddhi, and take another risk. Almost everyone here is married, barring one or two guys. Isn't it a big risk? Getting married, having a baby, in today's world especially. Yeah. Giving up a safe job to follow your heart. Swamiji, no problems. I am following my heart without even going for a job. That is called the eternal student syndrome. You have to be a student all your life. Don't want to enter life and take a risk of living it. Therefore, that ability to take risk, very, very important. Therefore, he says, I am the gambler, the risk taking among the gamblers. Okay. Dyutam chalayatam asmi. Tejas vinamaham. Among those who are tejasvi, brilliant in terms of energy, high energy, I am that energy. Tejas vinamaham. Jayosmi, I am victory. Invoke me as victory. You need my grace for victory anyway, so you better invoke me as victory. Vyavasayosmi, I am the effort. Okay, yeah. Sattvam sattvatamaham. I am the sattva and all the sattvic people. Okay. So invoke me in any of these. The idea is that invoke me in any of these. Vrishninam vasudevosmi Pandavanam Dhananjaya Muninam api aham Vyasaha Kavinam Anshuman Kavihi Kavinam Ushanak Kavihi. Okay, Ushanak Kavihi. Vrishninam Vasudevosmi. Among the Vrishnis, the tribe in India, Vrishnis. Invoke me as Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva. Krishna himself. He says, among the Vrishnis, invoke me as Krishna. Among the Pandavas, Dhananjaya, Arjuna. Okay. So if you are invoke him as Arjuna, he says. Invoke him as Arjuna. Okay. Muninam api aham Vyasaha. Among the Munis, Manana Shilavan, the great thinkers, Vyasaha. Is there a better thinker than that? Yeah. Vyasaha. Kavinam Ushana Kavihi. Among the sages, Kavinam, Kranti Drashtihi, as Ushanaha, one of the great sages that were there in India. Dandaha Damayatam Asmi, Nitim Asmi Jirjishitam, Maunam Cheva Asmi Gukhyanam, Jnanam Jnanavatam Aham. Dandaha Damayatam Asmi. I am the Dandaha, the stick, among those who enforce discipline. Meaning, if you have to enforce law, order, protect the country, etc., etc., you need that power. Danda is the symbolic of that power. Therefore, you can't say, I need a police force, but they should not have any power. Because human rights are important. Then why are you having a police force? If you don't give them the power to stop and apprehend, within, of course, a framework. Therefore, that power, Danda is symbolic of the power. The government requires that power. Requires that power. The army, the forces require that power. Therefore, Dandaha, invoke me as a Dandaha that sustains, that protects the country, that sustains law and order. Both. Two aspects are there. To protect a country from external problems, to protect it from internal problems. Okay. Both. Nitirasmi jijishitam. Jijishitam. Or those who wish success, etc. I am that very niti, that order. Good ethics is good business. Everyone says that, nobody really understands that. But this I will cover more when we do it in the 13th chapter. Okay, when you are doing all the values, etc. How good ethics means good business. All successful businessmen have said this. But believe me, very few people parrot them. Like Narayana Murthy, Azim Premji. All of them have said it. And many of us parrot it without really understanding it. We only parrot it, we don't follow it. The biggest problem of Indian businessmen is this. The ethical issues, and therefore they never become really world class. Yeah. Anyway, that we will cover later. Maunam chaivasme gukhyanam. Among the secrets, I am maunam. Keep quiet. If you really want to keep a secret, keep quiet. Don't tell it to somebody else. Promise me, huh? Don't tell it to anybody else. And then you tell the person. That is called high-speed data transfer. And the password is don't tell anybody. Because I'll get transfer from people to people very fast. From one to the other, to the other, to other, it will go very fast. And don't tell it to anybody because the password, because the other person says, yes, I won't tell it to anybody. That's called password. Okay. Therefore, if you want to really keep a secret, maunam. Okay. Don't tell. Maunam. Jnanam jnanavatamaham. All the great intellectuals who have gained great knowledge in life, I am that very knowledge itself. Very interesting. Why? Because you don't invent knowledge, do you? Do you ever invent it? You discover knowledge is of what is there in the creation, you only discover it. All knowledge belongs to the Lord. All knowledge belongs to the Lord. All knowledge is with the Lord. So the Lord is the source of all knowledge. I am only discovering it as a scientist or as a researcher or as a social work, this thing, whatever field. Vedanta all the more so. It comes directly from the Lord himself. The Lord is the first teacher. Okay. Therefore, jnanavatam aham jnanam, invoke me as knowledge. Which is what you did on Saraswati Puja. No? What are you doing on Saraswati Puja? Invoking Ishvara as the goddess of learning. Yeah. Goddess of learning. Why? Because learning was always valued in India. We did not believe in not using our thinking. We valued our thinking. Evolutionary, the highest thing that was given to us is our brains. Use it. Don't keep it fresh, unused. Yeah. Using it up. Yachapi sarva bhutanam bijam tadaham arjuna nardadasti vinayatsya manya bhutam characharam. Yaschapi sarva bhutanam bijam tadaham arjuna. I am the bijam, the source of everything that is there. So invoke me as the origin of all creatures. Yeah. Yeah, because I am the source. Ishvara is both the intelligence and the material for the whole creation. So the whole creation is nothing but a manifestation of Ishvara. Therefore, invoke me as the source itself. Na tadasti vinayasya maya bhuta characharam. Without me, there is nothing charam or acharam. Moving or immovable. Sentient or not sentient. There is nothing that exists without me. Therefore, invoke me in anything. Okay. Naha anta asti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapah eshattu uddeshataha prokta vibhutehe vistaro maya. Na antaha asmi. Krishna himself is saying, okay, mama divyanam vibhutinam, my glories, divine glories, there is no antaha, there is no end. There is no end. He parantapaha eshaha tu uddeshataha proktaha. I have given this only as an example. Vibhutehe vistaro maya. From the vastness of my glories, I have picked up a few for you. Keeping the culture and the context of that time, here it is. Vistaro maya. Okay. So, if you look at it this way, he has given you some traditional ways of putting it. Is that all there is there? No. Anything that inspires you, okay, anything that inspires you can be an idol for the Lord, a murti for the Lord, a point of invocation for the Lord, whatever inspires. Because the whole of worship is based on this one fact. The whole of God's symbolism is based on this one fact. What is that? Niskrishta vastuna utkrishta vastu aropaha. In a commonplace, relatively commonplace object, I am invoking the higher. Linga is a stone, like the linga that is there in our ashram at Rishikesh. We can call it Swayambhu Linga. Why? Because it is not man-made. We found it on the banks of the Ganga. Found it on the banks of the Ganga. Formed by nature. Through evolution, through the way it rolled in water, this, that, all that. Formed. Nice linga shape. So Puja Swamiji was going on his walk, he saw that, and he told us to pick it up and bring it. Took 3 of us to carry it. Huge, big thing it was. And so when we carried it, etc., we put it in a sack. 2 characters caught each under the sack and we walked up with it. Because all that stones, it was all rocky that time. We treated it as a stone. Then we put it there and did prana pratishtha. The moment prana pratishtha is done, what happens? Ishvara is manifest here. It's a commonplace object. So many stones are found in the river. Commonplace. Utkrishta vastu, the higher reality, aropaha. It is a deliberate superimposition we are doing. We are not idolaters. We are not worshipping idols. We are worshipping Ishvara. This idol or this murti, this linga, this saligrama, etc., is standing in place for the Lord. It's important. So you can invoke Ishvara in 100 different traditional forms, and for all of them we'll have some. I mean, there are quite a few people here who are involved in music. Do you know that you can invoke Goddess Saraswati in the notes of the veena? Sound. Not in the veena, in the notes of the veena. Who can relate to that? Musicians can relate to that. Yeah. So it is always like that. What is it that inspires you? Is this separate from Ishvara, this water bottle? No way. This water bottle is not separate from Ishvara. But can you invoke Ishvara in this water bottle? Of course you can, provided you find it inspiring enough. For most, this water bottle is not spiritual enough. Simple water bottle here. Some other bottle may be spiritual enough. Yeah. Remember that ad? two people sitting down and having a sip. How many pipers can you hear? 100? It's an ad, but a good one. Good one. Yeah, good one. So what I am trying to say is, most people we cannot invoke, but this can be. Therefore, you look for, even though it's a commonplace thing, you look for something inspiring among them. Therefore, you will say Himalaya. Okay. The more you go into the Himalayas, the more you realize, wow, what a place it is. I have trekked in so many places in the Himalayas, and wow, it's something. Yeah. So, Himalayas you can invoke. Among the mountain peaks, Everest, wow. Yeah. Or Kailasa, wow, inspiring. The ocean, inspiring. If you really want to see the might of the ocean, you must go on a small voyage. Go by ship, 100 miles out at least. 100 miles out. And if possible, in stormy conditions. Kya maja aata hai. Then you will understand the might of the ocean. 10,000 ton ship will be taken 20 feet into the air and dropped down. Wow. 10,000 horsepower available at one lever, one flick of your wrist, and nothing in front of the ocean. Nothing in front of the ocean. Wow, that is something. You feel that might. Wow. Invoke Ishvara as the ocean. In fact, in one of my class, somebody asked me, she was trying to be smart. Swamiji, can I invoke Ishvara in my wife? I said, of course you can. Only thing is, you'll have if you really invoke Ishvara in her, you will have problems of relating to her as husband and wife. If you are willing to take that risk, go ahead, invoke. Yeah. If you see during the Navratri period, there is also a Suhasini Puja. Yeah. You will take a young girl or an elderly person and invoke Devi. And the same priest who worships the Devi in the temple, with equal respect, he will worship. Yeah. Matru Rupena Samsita. Personally, I find that a little, confession, find that a little difficult because I have not met enough mothers to inspire. Okay. Maybe some of my students will become great mothers and I'll get inspired to say, that is good to see that. Your own mother you can rarely see like that. But what I am trying to say is, any inspiring form, it doesn't matter what the form is. Does it inspire you? Yes. That is why for every avatara, whether it is Vishnu, Rama, etc., you will also worship their weapons. Like one of the most famous is Sudarshana Homa. No? Where you are worshipping Sudarshanam. Sudarshanam was Vishnu's weapon. But you will worship the weapon. You will worship Vishnu through the weapon. That I can relate to very well with my martial background. Yeah. Or Khadgamala Stotram, offering of swords to Lalita Devi. Though Lalita is actually invoked as a gentle form. Lalita, invocation of Lalita is not like Durga, it's a more gentle form. But there is a Khadgamala Stotram. Some 300 odd names of Lalita Devi. So, invoke in any form. Even if the form is from a different culture, it is okay. We can respect the cross, but can they respect our Durga? Reverse is not possible. That is an unfortunate thing. It is idolatry. Cross is not idolatry. Kaaba is not idolatry. But our linga is idolatry. Ye kya baat hai? Not understanding. No understanding. That's it. Gadda and thinking. Yeah, and thinking. So anything that you find inspiring. And why is this worship necessary? Bring out the bhakti bhava in you. If that bhakti bhava is there, as I said in the camp, if you are functioning at the 6th level of understanding Ishvara, everything is divine, you are in harmony with everything, then forget all this. You don't need all this. But if you are not there, you need this to get there. Some worship. So you can have worship as personalized forms. You can have worship in impersonalized forms also. Linga is an impersonalized form. No? The Saligrama is a non-personal form. The Sri Yantra is a non-personal form. The Meru especially. Devi, you keep the Meru, Devi is present. That's how it is. But they are not personalized forms. They are geometrical forms. Yeah. It's not easy to draw the Sri Yantra, even two-dimensional. You need a lot of geometry for that. To get the Bindu exactly in the center and 6 and 5 triangles. Not easy at all. So what I am trying to say is, they are impersonal forms. Linga is impersonal. It helps you make the transition from a Murti to Ishvara, the all-pervading one. They are meant to help you make the transition. So invoke. Akasha. There is a Akasha meditation also available. Taittiriya, when we do that. If this class graduates enough to do all the Upanishads, then we will see that. Yeah. Sun meditation, moon meditations. Yeah. So, invoke in any inspiring form, invoke. Those of you who got married traditionally, especially South Indians, you were asked to go and see the Arundhati and Vasishta. There is an Arundhati Darshanam. Okay, it's a traditional wedding, and unfortunately by the time the wedding is over, it's about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And they'll say, oh, Paco, go see Arundhati. Where are you going to see Arundhati at 12 o'clock? That is because in olden days, marriage was at Goduli time. Goduli is when the cows come home, when the dust from the cows' hooves are raised up. So by the time the wedding is over, etc., the stars have come out. So in what is known as the Saptarishi or the Great Dipper, which is a group of 7 stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, 7. It's a tail. And a tail. The middle one in the tail is called Vasishta. And right next to Vasishta is Arundhati. The tiny stars. You are supposed to look at them and get the blessings of Ishvara as Vasishta and Arundhati. Why am I saying it? Because very interesting. What our ancients did and knew was phenomenal. It's Arundhati and Vasishtha are a binary system. Now, what is a binary system? Two stars revolving around each other. Generally, in that case, one star revolves around the other. One star is more or less stationary and the other one revolves around. But with Vasishtha and Arundhati, both revolve around each other. Both are revolving. Exactly like how husband and wife should be. It's not that husband is center and wife goes round and round. Or vice versa, wife is boss. No. Make each other the center of your living. What a beautiful way of looking at it. How did they know it is a binary system, number one? Number two, the speciality of this particular binary system is they revolve around each other. Both of them revolve. It's a beautiful dance that's taking place. That's what a marriage is supposed to be. A dance of energies like that. Ishvara is invoked. Because there is something special about this binary system, right? Endless. Ishvara's glory is going to see endless. Okay? That's why he says here. Yadyad vibhuti mat sattvam Srimat urjitameva va tadedat avagachatvam mama tejo ashasambhavam amshasambhavam. Yadyad vibhuti mat sarvam. Wherever there is a glory, somebody can teach well, somebody can sing well, somebody is a great warrior, somebody is a great mathematician, somebody is a great businessman. Yadyad vibhuti mat sarvam. Wherever there is a greatness there. Srimad urjitameva cha va. Okay. Or Srimad, wealth, business, etc. I covered that. Tadyad eva avagacha. Understand one thing. Mama amsha sambhavam. All that is born out of a small aspect of me. Nothing exists without Ishvara. There is some special glory because some of the God's stages has come there. They earned it by their own past life karmas, etc. Yeah. That's why we take it as a blessing. If I am blessed with an ability to teach, I don't say, oh, I learned my lessons well. You can say that. But thank God you are a great guru. Thank God you could have a mind that could grasp it well. Thank God you dabbled it before so you could take it early in life. So how much to thank God for? If somebody can sing well, thank God, God's grace, that voice. Without a voice, what singing can you do? With all the abuse that you have done to your voice, or somebody else has done to your voice. Accidents, illnesses, injuries. Yeah, that happens. Some karma comes through like that. Like I tore my vocal cords. Yeah. So that happens. If you survive that and you can still sing well, God's grace is with you. Great. Therefore, understand, recognize any glory anywhere is my glory alone. To recognize all glories belong to the Lord. Yours or others. Okay. And if it belongs to the God, to the Lord, what is there that I have to be proud of? What is there I have to be jealous of? What is there to be jealous of? God's glories. Where is jealousy? Where is pride? Both gone at one stroke. It's all God's grace. It's great. And in honoring that person, you honor Ishvara. You honor Ishvara. Okay. Athava bahunetena kim jnatena tava Arjuna vishtabhyam ahamidam krishnam ekamshena sthito jagat. He says, Athava bhunetena kim jnatena tavar. What are you going to do this by knowing all these things? Thoda jo bola bahut ho gaya. What little I have said is enough. What is the point in telling all this? What are you going to gain by it? Why? Vishtabhyam ahamidam krishnam. This entire jagat I am sustaining by a small aspect of myself. By a small aspect of myself, the whole world is sustained. 14 dimensions are the manifestation of Ishvara. What are you talking about this jagat? And when you say jagat, what is it that you are dealing with? That aspect that you can experience, isn't it? That's all that you are dealing with when you say jagat. Therefore, this small, the whole thing is what? Sustained by a small aspect of me. Therefore, whatever inspires you, take it and worship. Let that feeling of bhakti flow, that connect with Ishvara, that emotional connect with Ishvara has to flow. The moment that emotional connect flows, you are a great karma yogi. If you are living a life of karma yoga, knowledge is not far away from you. Knowledge flows into your life. Just keep exposing to the teaching, learning well, that's it. Yeah. Things can work very well. What is it that cannot work out? And the beauty of it is when you invoke Ishvara and that worship, the punya that comes out of it helps you in other areas of life also. That's called avantara phalam. Though many people do that as the primary phalam. Like, for every Navratri, there are a lot of homas done in Shankara Matham. Like this year, for example, a lot of homas are done. Okay. So I am there for most of them because I am the acharya there, the teacher there in Shankara Matham. I have been taking classes for more than 35 years there. So I am the teacher. Okay. And always find. If it is something like, Lakshmi Kubera Homam, a lot of people will end up there. Why? Paisa ka baat hai baba, paisa ka baat hai. Rokda milna chahiye. Okay. Then I was there on Tuesday for Sarada Devi Maha Homam. Is for knowledge, wisdom. Very few people around. Very few people around. Why? Knowledge, we know enough not to live our lives. Whereas Lakshmi Kubera Homam, huge. Okay. Yeah. Lakshmi Hayagriva Homam, oh yes, of course. Yeah. So, what I am trying to say is, what other people take as main, we take as secondary. For us, that bhakti is meant to lead us towards moksha, to get our mind ready for moksha. So, because of that karma done, the punya that we gain, automatically life becomes smooth. You gain what you need. Not that you will not have challenges in life. That challenges is part of living. Not that you will not have problems. That is prarabdha driven. You will get all those issues. Because you are a human being. As a human being, good, bad, ugly will come to you. Therefore, prarabdha vashal, you will have problems. But you will always have the grace to be able to get over it. You will have the grace to get over it. That is avantara phalam. Secondary result of all the worship that we do. Because invocation you are worshipping. No? And in time, that worship becomes automatic. That bhakti bhavam becomes automatic. Your mind becomes prayerful. And that is the important thing. To have a prayerful attitude in life is more important than the prayers that you do. Yeah. that prayerfulness. That is what makes your life a great karma yoga. Because you are prayerful. The whole life is a worship. Your whole life becomes a worship. Your bhakti is 24/7. So all the festival, this, that, etc. that we have is only to give it a push. Because sometimes the spirit can sag in human beings. कितना करेगा यार, बहुत किया. It can sag. So some special push during festive occasions. And if you notice, all our worship is not sad. Oh Lord, not like that. There's always a joyfulness to our worship. No? Whether it is in Garba in Gujarat, at one end of the world, or it is, what is that? That Dhuni dance, no? What is that dance? Shravani? Dhuni dance?
Dhunuchi.
Huh?
Dhunuchi. Sorry. It's called Dhunuchi.
With the two fire pots?
Yeah. So that's called Dhunuchi.
Duzuki, yeah.
The Dhunuchi.
Dhunuchi.
Correct.
Dhunuchi, yeah, Shalini, right?
Dhunuchi.
I got the spelling.
Yes.
Yeah, Dhunuchi. Yeah. I mean, it's a celebration, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Or that, the playing with the colors, with kumkum.
Sindur Khela.
Sindur Khela. It's all a celebration. Why? Hey, because we are going for Ananda, for moksha. How can the journey not be joyful? There are times of tapas also. No, Shivratri is a time for contemplation. Not that there is no celebration. There is celebration, but it's also contemplation. There is celebration. Both are there. Why is it important? Because it's meant to give you that josh, that push towards bhakti. There are certain deteriorations happening. That happens all over. That's a different thing. That's because we are trying to make it secular. Navaratri celebrations from Garba. You keep Devi at the center. You are supposed to spend the night in prayer and contemplation. Can't do that. Because you'll go to sleep. After 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, etc., you'll feel sleepy. Therefore, they said, okay, instead of just contemplation, etc., you can sing some devotional songs and have some movement around it. So that you are awake, etc., and worshipping of the day. So you are still prayerful. Beautiful. So, from Garba, just clapping hands, you got the dandiya, the sticks also. Fine. Up to here was beautiful. Then you secularized it, commercialized it. Then all the problems started. So this year, many Gujaratis played Garba. But in people's homes, small groups. There it happened they think, which many of my students talked to me about it. They said, Swamiji, it was very good. It was how it was meant to be like. I said, correct. That's how it was meant to be. That's how it was meant to be. Not disco dandiya. Though nothing wrong with disco dandiya if you are going to have that bhakti bhavam in it. Then it can be beautiful. Yeah. Therefore he says, Ishtabhyamidam Krishna. Okay. Therefore this is where the whole worship etc. is meant for. Having a prayerful attitude. With that, iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastri Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvadi Vibhuti Yogo Nama Dashamo Dhyayaha. The topic of Vibhutis, Vibhuti Yoga, topic of Vibhutis, glories of the Lord, comes to an end. So next chapter also we will move fast because next chapter is Vishwarupa Darshanam, where Ishvara reveals his form. Therefore you will find certain overlap areas between this chapter also there, but it's okay. And towards the end, Krishna makes one of the most profound statements in the Gita in the way of living in that. But that we will start next class. Okay, we'll start that next class. The whole Vishwarupa Darshanam that Arjuna got as a special, because he is Krishna's student. Okay. Okay. So good place to stop. Take care. The night is still young. Those who have plans for the evening, it's only 6:30. Not too late. Okay. Om Tat Sat. Have a great time.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you,
Swamiji.
Swamiji.
Pranam.
Take care.
Thank you,
Pranam.
Swamiji.
Pranam ji.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you all. Take care. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Swami. Thank you, Swami.
Thank you all. Take care.
Swamiji.
Yeah.
Thank you, Swamiji.